You're watching college football on ABC Sports, home of the full championship series.
At the top of the hour, with Gary Danielson and Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger. Penn State and Wisconsin dueling for the lead in the Big Ten, all Nittany Lions. Here today, they have dominated the game, second down and 11. Williams has got daylight to the 30-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 before Harrell can bring him down. But hold on now, back at the line of scrimmage.
Got hit, yep, you can see it right there at the end of the play. It's a wide receiver screen. They're going to take advantage of the lack of ability to pass block. Oh, that looked like the one that knocked out Michael Robinson last year. And you can see he gets hit in the head, and roughing the passer is called.
So we have watched the defense with Tamba Hale, just magnificent, an All-American all game long. How good is this Nittany Lion defense now?
I read Mark D'Antonio, who coaches at head coach at Cincinnati, who was the defensive coordinator at Ohio State when they won the national championship. He said, this is the best defense I've seen since our Ohio State defense. And that was a great defense he sees again. They run, they've got veteran players and great pass rushers, and he is right.
And that personal foul was on Tamba Hale, number 91. 1st down and 10. Stocco. Beautiful pass to Daniels. A gorgeous throw by Stocco, who was under enormous pressure again. And you see the offensive lineman, Matt Lawrence, is in agony as he rolls over on the field.
You got to give it to John Stocco. Come on, he has been getting rocked all football game. He knows he's going to get rocked again each time he throws the football, but he finds Daniels with a tight end who's been staying in all game to help. Finally gets out there, and Stocco puts it right there.
Gary, I thought that was his best pass of the game.
Well, he hasn't had a lot of chances, has he?
It's 21-0. We've got a timeout on the field. Lawrence is being tended to. We'll take a break. Can the Badgers keep going? The smiles are back in Happy Valley. Penn State leading, but Wisconsin trying to mount a charge here behind a very gutty performance by John Stocco. Has been taking a pounding, sacked 7 times. Calhoun searches for daylight because Lusney just jumped in the hole that time and wouldn't let number 2 free.
We talked about the courageous play of John Stocco. These are back-to-back plays. Remember, he's already been sacked 7 times. This is one play where he gets decked. Then the very next play, he stands in the pocket. Holly comes through. He feels him. Holly's actually the guy who fell on Matt Lawrence to put him out of the football game. But that is courage, and that's what these teammates saw and will see in the tapes.
And Marcus Coleman, a sophomore, is in the offensive line for Stocco. No receiver open, and Rice closes from behind. And Paxson was there from the front. Scott Paxson, number 41, with Rice coming in from behind. What a pounding Stocco is taking in this game. You can't say enough about his courage, as Gary just pointed out.
You know, and don't underestimate the fact that the Penn State defense remembers that Wisconsin put out 2 quarterbacks last year. Believe me, that was talked about all week. And it says, guys, now we got the seniors. Let's put their quarterback on his back. Don't want to injure him, but that's part of the game. Physical against the quarterback.
The nickel back, Johnson on the field. Double team and ride Hawley out. Stocco to the middle. 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. He puts it into Brandon White's hands. Now, what was interesting there is they rode Tamba Hale out with the double team block, and the Badgers could be in business. Plenty of time left in this game.
Yeah, it was Brian Calhoun this time that helped on the double team again, but look at the time Stocco has. He is not faint of heart in the pocket and delivers a strike. And obviously, the interception near the goal line, right in this end zone, and now this drive is the difference in the game. You put those 2 together, it's a football game.
Calhoun will line up behind Presley. There's the ISO power line look with Daniels extra leverage. They run away from it. Presley clears the way. Touchdown. The fullback opens the way for Calhoun. And let's remember there was a missed field goal by the Nittany Lions. That is huge in this football game right now. The Badgers 2 possessions away if they hit this extra point.
Stretch play this time, and this is what Brian Calhoun does such a great job of, stretching it out. Palermo gets it. Joe Thomas, number 72, gets a great block, and then Brian Calhoun. But I'll tell you, every Wisconsin Badger on the sideline went over and congratulated John Stockwell for his courage on that drive and what he pulled off.
And Melhaff tacks on the extra point. 21-7. The Badgers battle back. Can they keep it up? We'll find out. Welcome back to the BCS Spotlight Game presented by ADT. Penn State 21, Wisconsin 7. 12:27 remaining in regulation. Justin King, one of the deep men, along with Reggie Kinlaw. The whiteout crowd continuing. When Purdue drew close last week in the 4th quarter, Michael Robinson marched the Nittany Lions right down the field, led by tailback Tony Hunt. We shall see here. Kinlaw over to the right and well short of the 20-yard line. And just a reminder quickly tonight that got a pretty good movie, Catch Me If You Can, Tom Hanks. That's the ABC Saturday movie of the week. So catch that tonight at 8/7 Central right here on ABC. And right now Michael Robinson will play Catch Me If You Can. So the Nittany Lions come onto the field. Galen Hall and Joe Paterno upstairs calling the plays. Sargent is the wide receiver in motion. And they bring it around, lead the way for Hunt with that motion, bringing the receiver through and then giving it to Hunt. And Zalewski defends the play.
All right, I talked about in the open that Wisconsin needed to handle Michael Robinson's rush yards. The reason I said that is Michael Robinson's going to miss some passes. He's 11 for 24. His inaccuracies on wide open players have kept Wisconsin in the game. It's his 100 yards rushing that has really tilted it. You have to take something away, but his inaccurate throwing has really given the Wisconsin defense stops in this second half.
Joe Paterno and his staff making decisions right now. Here comes Hunt, short of the first down. We asked Joepa, what's his favorite thing about coaching football?
There's nothing like being on the sideline in the day of a game. And there's no way for me to describe we have a tunnel, as you know, we come out of the tunnel and I come out with the team. There's no way to describe what it is being on that sideline and have to make decisions and the excitement and all of the things that go on in a football game.
It's one of my favorite sound bites ever from a football coach who admits just being over there and in the heart of the battle. And right now, he knows it's tough going. And Hunt twists for a first down with Ostrowski making the stop. And you think about the other sideline, Barry, and here's what he had to say about coaching against Paterno here today.
I thought Joe was old when I started. It's amazing to me. It's amazing why you'd want to do it at 78, but I've said this all along. I've always had great admiration for him.
As does almost everybody in the coaching profession. I've never found another coach who has anything but kind words to say. They actually felt sorry for him the last couple of years. They wanted him to go out on a note like this. Here's King, the freshman, and he is surrounded, well short of that first down. The Lions, Joe Paterno, when you see him stalking over there, he's just a little bit concerned about what's going on right now. They haven't been able to get back what they had in the first half. They're running the clock down a little bit. They're getting it down to 10:45. But he would like to get a couple more first downs as he's talking to Sargent over there on the sideline. And now he's got something he wants relayed upstairs. That's how he handles things. When he wants it changed, he sends the word upstairs as to what to do, either to go ahead and throw it, keep running the football. That's what he is, kind of a chairman of the board. You just saw Joe Paterno, what he does during the game. They didn't get it. Here comes the third down.
Yeah, that was that lead draw again. Third, fourth time they've run that from the eye, and it looks like Wisconsin's zeroing in on it.
You know, we don't know who's going to win this game tonight at 7:45 Eastern. Both Gary and I can see this going either way. Although, Gary, Blacksburg's just a tough place for anybody to beat.
You know, it looks like Virginia Tech believes they can beat them. You can't beat Miami unless you believe it. At least they believe they can do it.
That is must-see if you're a college football fan. That game at 7:45.
And this is a must-stop for Wisconsin.
Well, here we go. Third down now. Can they force a punt? Gave Robinson time. He's going to go long. Incomplete. Had a shot at it.
That was a great stop by Rowan that time, number 21. About the third or fourth corner for Wisconsin that's played. Remember, Bell has played. Ike has played. You could see it. He's all over it. Not a great route that time. Ball is thrown properly, but he stays with it, fights it through, and the ball hits the ground. Great play.
And he had a crack at it, didn't he? And now the Badgers are going to get it back. 9:35. Can they strike? Brandon Williams hopes to give him a lift here. Capanas, fine punter. They double Kilmer. He's their ace gunner. Williams looking for a hole to the 31-yard line. So two Badgers harassing number 43 down the field that time. 9:24. Joepa and Penn State hanging on now. We'll take a break. John Stocco with 101 passing yards, and notice that Michael Robinson's inaccuracy has helped the Badgers. And now, perhaps their most important drive of the night.
Two tight ends right over here to Tamba Holly. Both stay on.
He'll drop it off to Calhoun. Puslesny gets him back out of bounds. The Pacific Life game summary here from this Big Ten showdown, and using the fullback for the Nittany Lion touchdown. And then Stocco being brought down by Holly, who's had a tremendous night, and Calhoun. So we stand at 21-7. Second down and 5. And Williams is buried by Puslesny.
Wow.
Read it perfectly, and it jumped all over it.
And with quickness, too. I mean, that's the type of quickness the NFL looks for in their weak side linebackers. Those guys that can just hit a play like that full speed and just make plays in space. That's what Puslesny can do.
Aliquippa, fine athletes have come out of that area through the years. Third down and 7.
Boy, did he close on that.
Nickel defense for the Lions. And he overthrew Calhoun. Paxson, the tackle, had picked him up on that side, and there was no room to drop it in, and the Badgers are forced to punt.
Look at that. They've been rushing the passer all game, but they're disciplined enough to read that screen pass. And Scott Paxson, just a senior football player, another one of those seniors that's seen it all. He's been through the misery. 2 9th-place finishes. He reads his keys and gives Stocco nothing to do but to throw the ball away.
So to Bush again. Lowry will just want to field this one. The Nittany Lions are going to work on that clock.
A low one.
Bounce to the right because it's so low. To the 31-yard line. Michael Robinson and the Nittany Lions. Can the Badgers get it right back? We'll find out. So Joe Paterno stalking on that far side. He called the offense over.
He did. No, he went charging into the offense to be more accurate. Kind of pointed his finger at him and said, come on, no points this half.
Coming off perhaps his 2 toughest years ever as a head coach. Robinson off a nice fake, deflected, incomplete. And, you know, we talked about the tough times, and we asked Coach Paterno about going through the last couple of years with all the criticism and everything.
I always felt, you know, we were so close, and I never felt that I had lost my squad. If I had felt that the kids had left me and were looking at me like, hey, you know, what's this guy doing out there, then I probably would have gotten out of it.
But he's not even thinking about that. He wins a BCS Bowl. He told me that he can't wait for practice to start next year. Staying just as active as he can. Going to be 79 in a month, folks. Remarkable story. Here comes Robinson, first down. What he does best. What a powerful runner as we go down to check in with Jack.
Well, Brent, we're watching Joe Paterno, and he started to go into that offensive line. He wanted to tell them what he thought. Jay Paterno and Galen Hall told me last week that they never worry about the play calling until Joe goes deep into his pocket and pulls out this little yellow sheet of paper. This, they say, is where he has his favorite plays. Watch on the sidelines. He might be going deep into that left pocket soon.
Jack, he told us that he wakes up sometimes, in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock, like some of his old guys do. And he's got that yellow piece of paper there, and he starts scribbling down notes that he wants to tell the staff about on the next day. Robinson throws high, caught. Kenlaw's got it at midfield. So the Fighting Irish with a big win today over Tennessee. And this is a team, well, who knows? Maybe they could wind up playing Penn State in a BCS Bowl. Wouldn't that be something? Welcome, everybody, to State College. We're Gary Danielson and Jack Arute. I'm Brent Musburger. So you know that the Irish figured to jump a couple of spots with that victory over Tennessee. And that's certainly, well, the voters have liked them all along, but I think the computers will like them better now, too, after that win. And here's a dance by Robinson. And he'll go down. Stelmacher, the safety, is there.
Same play he ran before for the first down, and this time he had 4 dance partners from Wisconsin on that play. To see him smiling, getting up, he juked and juked and juked, but you can't beat 4 of them on the play. And, that is this running game from spread. This is the challenge. You must have a running quarterback, and it looks like Wisconsin's getting more comfortable finding where that ball is going to be run.
The Badgers need a stop right now on this 3rd and 3. Brett Bell is back in on the corner, number 6, coming off knee surgery this year. There's a blitz on it. Robinson goes deep. Got him. Touchdown, Butler again. He's the one who caught the touchdown for the first score. This one's 47 yards, just like a week ago against Purdue. The Boilermakers closed in, and Michael Robinson struck right back.
That's the home run hitter. That's what you get with this quarterback. You get a few strikeouts, but then when the safeties are up and they blitz, you can see it right there. Nobody in the middle of the field allows Robinson just to toss that ball up confidently, and it's Bell again who gets beat. Just like the first one, almost mirror image plays.
They go 43 yards on the first one, 47 on the second one. Kelly tacks on the extra point.
You can see it. Bell's got one-on-one coverage, and right by him goes Butler. The ball didn't have to be thrown perfectly this time, but good enough, and got it in stride in for the touchdown. As both times Brent Bielema tries to blitz, it cost him 7 points.
There is Butler, a walk-on. He was a fine high school player, but all of the schools thought he was just a little bit too small. He decided to walk on at a big-time program. He came here. He started as a defensive player. Joe Paterno didn't know much about him. He told me the other day he made a mistake, that he should have switched him over to wide receiver a lot earlier. And so here he is.
And credit Jay Paterno. Jay Paterno is the one who lobbied for Butler to come over. When you talk in the offseason, who do you want, who do you like, how could you make the team better. It was Joe Paterno who fought for Butler, even though he knew he had a good class of recruits coming in. See Jay over on the right there, okay? He has to be smiling.
And Galen Hall sitting down right now. There he is, bending over, the old Warrior. He was a quarterback here once. He was also the head coach down at the Florida Gators. He was in the World League, the XFL. Joe Paterno brought him in last year, and he's helped out with this offense tremendously. And they're going to come out. Here comes Williams looking to make a big play. And he is well short of the 20-yard line, and the celebration seems to be starting here in Happy Valley. And college football on ABC is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it. Hummer, check out the new H3 Hummer like nothing else. Verizon Wireless, there's only one reason to choose a wireless company. It's the network. And Pacific Life. For insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed. If Joe Paterno goes into East Lansing and beats Michigan State, folks, I think he's the coach of the year. A year ago at this time, he didn't have a single win in the Big Ten. And Orr's got it. He's loose. Orr on that sideline. And tripped up at the 15-yard line.
That's amazing. Jonathan Orr is the fastest player on Wisconsin's
Lowry
football
got
team.
there.
Yep. Can you believe that? The safety from behind.
That's 64 yards.
And that's as loud as it's been all football game here tonight. And Stocko again. Lowry's on coverage. Ball's up, catches it. He misjudged. Jonathan Orr goes around to the outside. Fastest guy on the team. And a layout by Lowry just clips the toe.
Badgers with a chance. End zone incomplete. Zemaitis had coverage that time on Orr. Zemaitis made in the first half perhaps the biggest play of the game. It was 14-0. The Badgers had a first and goal, and he made the interception. Here's Tom Bahali drawing all kinds of attention.
Yeah, this time he's on Joe Thomas to the outside. This is good against good. And watch Joe Thomas just stone Holly that time and gets him and stops him and stuffs him.
Was that perhaps holding?
No, I think the arm rip like that from underneath, you give the benefit to the offensive
the
tackle.
Stranglehold, okay. Second down.
Hey, that's good play by the tackle there.
Calhoun, Zemaitis, and Kozlowski slashing in. I'll tell you what, 31 reminds me of a defensive back. He closes so fast.
I'll tell you who he's going to remind you of after I give you the name. Teddy Lehman from Oklahoma. Playing middle linebacker for the Detroit Lions. Undersized, a starter right now, but has the quicks and safety-like cat quickness to make plays, but he weighs 225 pounds. It's exactly who he reminds me of.
Third and long. The Badgers will use their second timeout, and looks like we're going to have some time, so stay tuned for the Thrifty car rental postgame report with John, Craig, and Aaron. They'll have highlights and analysis. Northwestern, a huge comeback against Iowa. A couple of touchdowns in the last 2:30. And I tell you, I look at Joe Paterno over there, Jack, and you got a little insight into how he ends practice.
Yeah, well, every once in a while he decides that he wants to pull his regular kicker. Kevin Kelly says, get out of here. When they're practicing onside kicks, look, it's a 78-year-old that decides to do the onside. But Joe, it's got to go 10 yards. Let me do an imitation of what he does when somebody messes up in practice. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
Oh, my.
He was practicing the short onside kick right there. That's something you got to go over. Don't you have a lot of admiration for John Stocko through this football game, Brent?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
That's why this team, they have one loss in the Big Ten, okay? You know, this guy, he beat Ohio State at Ohio. Not just him, but he quarterbacked it. He had that upset against Purdue last year when Purdue was number 5. And he beat Michigan this year over there in Madison, and he's going to try to close it out next week against Iowa.
If you're looking, he can get a first down at about the 6-yard line. He's going to throw for the end zone, or goes back and touchdown touchdown is called by Brandon White, and White is injured.
Somebody ran the wrong route, but the ball was in the right spot. Usually when this happens, one receiver goes for the short cone and the other receiver goes for the deep cone. But they both saw the ball, so they both went for it. And you could see.
I didn't know which one had it.
No, both guys thought they had it. But Brandon White kind of changed his route when he saw the ball in the air. And you know what? More power to him, as Wisconsin has a great drive with all that pressure they've had in this football game.
Made it 2 touchdowns again with 5:13. Will Barry Alvarez try an onside kick? We're about to find out.
Game-changing performance. Nominate yours to ESPN.com, keyword Pontiac.
And John, today, Michael Robinson has broken the Penn State season record for total offense. 2,687 yards. The old record, well, it was set in a very, very famous year around these parts. Kerry Collins, back in 1994, 2,660. They won the Big Ten, Joe Paterno's only Big Ten championship, won the Rose Bowl.
You see it, they got it lined up for the onside kick.
Northwestern made it work, got to get the big hop, and Penn State recovers it. So it'll be Nittany Lion football. And Anthony Scarrotti, he recovered the onside kick. The youngster took a lick and hung on, and Michael Robinson of the offense coming back.
It needed one more bounce, didn't it? It just was too easy. It was like a big hop to the shortstop, and he's on that good hands team for a reason. I bet he was maybe a shortstop or second baseman coming up, and he handled that one real easy.
28-14, Nittany Lions, 5:12 to go.
Remember, at one time through the third quarter, Wisconsin had 1 yard of total offense in the second half, and then they go back-to-back drives for touchdown.
Smoko, the tight end, on the left side of the formation. Hunt, tailback, he's behind Snow. Breaks a tackle, and penalty flag.
Look for a second that somebody got him on the face mask there, but there's a flag deep in the secondary also. Good conversation, good job by the officials. Yeah, that's what I thought I saw.
Let me say that I think that Todd Gerlings and his crew have done an outstanding job in this game.
It hasn't even been anything close to being even questionable.
Game has moved right along.
Grasp me in the face mask. 5-yard penalty on the defense. Number 95. Added to the end of the run. First down.
Of course, we've had 2 teams that have not been penalized a lot. And let's see, overall, we've got 7 total penalties in that game. 5 on the Lions and 2 on the Badgers. Game has moved right along. Been efficiently handled. We haven't had any instant replay.
No,
Jim Augustine's upstairs. He's very happy.
He's had. I saw him. He's already had 3 hot dogs in the game.
Oh, he's happy to sit back and enjoy the football game. First down and 10. Here comes Hunt. Let's check in with Jack Arute.
Well, Brent, you know that Joe likes to make fun of me because I am a male sideline announcer, right? Well, it's my turn now. This is my best imitation of Joe Paterno. What are you trying to do to me? Let me get my yellow paper out here. Don't you know that we've got, that's white. I got to get the yellow paper. There we go. Back to you guys.
That's a great mask.
That was a wonderful man.
Where's the white socks, Joe?
Suer's looking for you.
Jack, where's those white socks?
Second down. That was the only thing missing.
Yep.
First down, powerful runner. And of course, next week, Brent Bazinet. All those guys. Of course, the Nittany Lions have a big chance, but the Buckeyes also have a chance.
Well, they've only got 1 loss also, that's for sure. Tiebreaker goes to Penn State because of that win over Ohio State.
Yeah, that's right. Michigan could get a share of the title, though. There's a sequence, and this is what they had to have happen, right? They
Yes,
had to have
for them
Penn
to
State
have a chance.
beat Wisconsin.
And they.
Let's take a look at these standings, because remember now, one of Michigan's 2 conference losses was at the hands of Wisconsin, so they need to drop Wisconsin back. They probably need Iowa now too. They can't wind up in any kind of deadlock with Wisconsin. So Ohio State just went 5-1. We were told by our producer Bob Goodrich. So they are 5-1. They would jump up into second place. They play next week. They could then move into a tie with Penn State. Remember, the Nittany Lions are idle next week.
After this play, I want to say something about a Berry football team, a Berry Alvarez football team. It has been evident even today.
Touchdown! Hunt bangs in. So Tony Hunt, their junior tailback. Joe Paterno selected him along with the rest of the coaches because of his toughness. And he demonstrated it again there. Nothing comes easy to 26. Look at the grass stains. He's just an old-fashioned Joe Paterno tailback.
Absolutely. He's like a Richie Anderson tailback that he had here before. One of those guys is not going to get you 65 yards, but he's going to get you 6.5 yards, and that's what Joe likes from his tailbacks.
They've answered both times that Wisconsin has scored.
And that time, it was just I formation, almost like, okay, I got this football game. We're going to run it out. You can almost feel the air go out of the balloon. And I still got to give it to Berry Alvarez. He kept his football team in this game, even though the game plan did not go according to plan. You remember, he wanted to make this a second-half game. It was a first-half game. The rush yards, I think that's the story of the football game for me. Right here, Robinson, 125 yards rushing, and then he got hot throwing the ball. Time of possession slightly towards Penn State. That really didn't matter that much. Calhoun was stopped both in the run and the pass.
Here's your winning quarterback and a leading candidate for MVP in the Big Ten. A year ago, folks, Northwestern came in here and beat Penn State. The Nittany Lions dropped to 0-6. Monday, Joe Paterno came to the staff meeting with the squad and said, nothing is on today. Go home, take the day off, get out of here. We have got to develop a new attitude. They came back. He read the most famous passage ever written by Shakespeare, probably, from Hamlet. That's all he said to the team. They went out, they went back to work. To be or not to be certainly was the question. And they've decided to be, and they've lost only 1 game since then, and that was taken down to the last second in Ann Arbor earlier this season. This is a remarkable turnaround by a 78-year-old coach who changed his ways, sent his staff down to Austin, Texas, to talk to Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, and Mac Brown. They wanted to see how the Longhorns had developed running alleys for Vince Young. They came back with a new wrinkle on the offense. Joe let Galen Hall and his son go, and the rest, as they say, is history. And he is just 1 win away from locking up a $13 million bid to a BCS Bowl. Joe Paterno, who a lot of people were criticizing, they said he should quit, and he has answered one and all. And Williams makes a slick grab on the near side here. He's a nice-looking football player.
He sure is. He's been doing it for 4 years, Brandon Williams has.
That's 24 more yards for Brandon. What are the numbers on Brandon today? Gary, did he break 100 with that?
Let me check here. We got our stats right here. I'm not sure if he did. I don't think so. I think it was Ora had the big catch. But Williams, yes, 102 yards. That is correct. It was real close to the sideline, and Wisconsin snapped it really quickly.
There is Orr in underneath, looking for the first down. And I'll remind you, the college football on ABC is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it. Hummer, check out the new H3 Hummer, like nothing else. Verizon Wireless, there's only one reason to choose a wireless company. It's the network. And Pacific Life, for insurance, annuities, and investments. Choose Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed. Dr. Pepper will taste good after this game, won't it? First down and 10.
That'll be a story if you're drinking Dr. Pepper.
First down and 10. For the end zone, overthrowing some minuses there.
Let me talk a little bit about Berry Alvarez. Okay, I wanted to get to this, okay? This is a guy, and this game hadn't gone well, but this has been a season that I don't even think Barry Alvarez could have predicted has gone this well for his football team. He has them poised. Next week they play Iowa at home to finish up his career and go into this Big Ten with just 2 losses. He was picked 9th in the Big Ten, only ahead of Illinois and Indiana. He has really rallied the troops in his last year as a head coach.
He's a terrific guy.
He really is.
He'll just make an outstanding athletic director at Wisconsin. 2nd down and 10. Stocko's in trouble. And there is Shaw. Jimmy Shaw, the linebacker, sacking him. And that, I believe, is the 8th sack of this game. 56 yards in losses. Stocko has taken a pounding, and he just keeps on coming.
Yeah, only a 3-man rush this time, plus the linebacker, Shaw. You can see it could not be handled inside. I think it was, yes, Palermo, number 52, Jason, and you can see Stocko's going, boy, this is didn't work out this way last time we came here.
Well, here's our Chevrolet players of the game, and we're going to honor John Stocko because of the pounding he took and kept on coming. Now, a lot of that pounding was administered by Tamba Hawley. And Tamba Hawley, number 91, the leader. Here's Larry Johnson's father, Coach Johnson of that defensive line. Larry, of course, a first-round draft choice of the Kansas City Chiefs. He'll need to step up big tomorrow against the Oakland Raiders. Priest Holmes trying to recover from a concussion. And there's his papa right there, very proud of his son. Who broke all kinds of rushing records here at Penn State.
Great job with defensive line here. Jimmy Kennedy, Michael Haynes. I mean, they've just gone one right after another that have come off of this program and played in the NFL. Brad Skilly, we talked about it before. Michael Haynes plays for the Bears. And what NFL team will be lucky enough to get this guy? Because here's what, Wisconsin's had 66 plays. He's been in for about 60 of them, and he's had sprinter attack on every one of those 60 plays.
We are Penn State, echoing across the state of Pennsylvania tonight. Some of the most loyal fans in all of college football. There's Holly, got him again. Number 91 has got him again with the game in hand inside of 2 minutes. And as Gary said, that motor never stops running. Let's check in with John Saunders. All right, John. And so the Irish still rolling. Tough year for Tennessee. There's a penalty flag down. They'll sort this out. You know, there's one other story about Joe Paterno. Does he say that he got vindication because of this season? We asked him about the critics that he's had the last couple years.
You'd like to say, hey, okay, we were down a little bit, we can do a better job, and let's get on with it, and we don't have to vindicate ourselves for anything. I never felt after all the years I've been in coaching that I had to vindicate myself for anything.
Indeed. And Gary, I know you joined me. I mean, folks, he's 78 years old and he's down there on that sideline.
And, you know, I think the most important thing he said is he never felt he lost his team. And I think, you know, more than the thing about I like it, I enjoy it, I having fun, I think that's the key phrase.
Stocko airs it out. It's a ball incomplete.
Well, how smart were those guys to let that ball fall down? They knew it was 4th down. That is, again, smart players. You don't have to intercept it on 4th down. You get a 40-yard gain by just letting it hit the ground.
There is a senior defensive backfield leaving the field for the last time here in Happy Valley for that senior class. And what a group they have been. Alan Zamitis, number 21. Number 10, Calvin Lowry. Number 27, Chris Horrell. Number 1, Anwar Phillips. And in the defensive front, number 91, Tamba Hawley. Number 41, Scott Paxson. And number 55, Matt Rice. All seniors, all leaving the field here for the last time, along Chris Horrell, that free safety senior. And what a way to celebrate, to go out with the biggest win ever, Gary.
7 seniors, and I agree. I said it last week. Texas, Virginia Tech, Miami, and Penn State have the 4 best secondaries in the country. Tonight, we're going to watch Virginia Tech and Miami match up.
You know what?
Michael Robinson's coming off the field.
There's a little tear there in Joe's eye. He never admitted it. But when he saw Michael Robinson come out, there's Galen. He's down on the field. Michael thought about transferring, struggling. He played every place. They had to have him on the field. Zach Mills, the quarterback. Just what a wonderful year for this high-class football team. Nothing quite like it. And Coach Bradley, he hugs Robinson. The loyalties run very, very deep with this group here and their fans. There's an incredible attachment to the fans. There's Barry and Joe down on the field together. Jack, I see you down there. Go ahead.
Coach, congratulations. What was the moment like watching Michael Robinson and some of these seniors in their last home game?
Well, you know, you guys, I think that's what I got to think about. I was worried about Wisconsin. I was glad to see the kids come out, and they practiced hard all week, and they had a lot of feeling for each other, and, you know, and for the experience they had, I was particularly pleased because of the fact they've gone through so much junk. And they've been harassed, called everything. They stuck together, and they're in the middle of a pretty good year.
One game away, Coach.
Well, it's still one game.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Joepa. Once again, our final score, 35-14. Penn State rolls along. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. Now let's send you to New York. John Saunders, Craig James, and Aaron Taylor. John, take it away, big fella.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Here in the 13 Colorado post-game report. You know, it's so interesting and so satisfying for those of us who love college football and have talked about Joe Paterno, and the argument has gone back and forth over the last couple of years. Should he resign? Should he continue? You know, it's just so great to see his team right now just one game away from a Big Ten championship.
Now, we're not sucking up at this desk.